Super Match hooks. A few of you have asked me about these again. I've been banging on about them for over a year now. I've been using them in certain scenarios. Fantastic hook. I've used them a lot for small fish and skimmers and that sort of thing. I was put onto these by an angler who's nothing to do with Matrix. He's sponsored by another brand, another tackle company, and he's been using them for quite a while. I got a lot of faith in these hooks, but the one thing I hadn't done with them is hook a big fish, because only then you know, are you ever going to get any sort of idea about how strong they actually are, and that's how you get your confidence at the end of the day. But guess what? I went on the Trent about 3 or 4 weeks ago on a bit of a team practice session, and this came along. Well, that was landed on a Super Match hook, size 14. I obviously can't prove that to you, but I know, and the lads that were there know, how such a fine wire hook can land fish of that sort of size, especially on a river, especially a barbel, because we all know how hard they fight, is beyond me, and that's obviously given me a massive amount of confidence in how strong these hooks actually are. So, a lot of fishing is all about confidence, whether it be ground baits, tackle. I have just shared with you that my confidence in these has just gone through the roof. Right, believe it or not, a lot of people have been asking for me to be back in this room. I know a lot of you already know I work all week Monday to Friday, so I can't spend loads of time on the bank, and that's why, yes, this is a fishing channel, but no, I can't always be on the bank. But a lot of people have asked to be back in here, answering a few questions and just kind of letting you know what we've been up to and what I've been up to over the last 2 or 3 weeks since the World Pairs. On the note of the World Pairs, all 5 videos are now uploaded. They're all there within this channel for you, day 1 through to day 5 in the presentation. A lot of you have already watched them and given some great feedback, thanks for that. So they're all there for you to see now. It's been a bit of a planning week, as it was. I came back from the World Pairs, just kind of had a week off, a little bit burnt out, but I've actually spent 2 or 3 sessions out on the bank, just kind of with my kit, just casting and trying different shock leaders out, different knots out, some different types of mono, just kind of going back to basics a little bit, because there's 1 or 2 little things that I've been quite happy with, even though I've obviously been getting results. But you're always looking to up your game, and it's been really, really nice to go back and just go off the radar somewhere and just do your own thing and really look at your own game without any distractions around you or worried about catching fish. It's just been about just making sure your kit's absolutely tip top and your technique and everything is as good as you can possibly make it. So that's what I've been up to this week. Bit of planning for next week, but on Sunday I was at Larford Lakes. I was back at Larford. It was great to get back there. I haven't been there for quite a while. I was there with my good mate Martin Edis, that a lot of you know from these videos and obviously know from this area around Sheffield. I'm actually over the moon for him. He's actually went and he qualified in the Golden Reel competition. It's the new event that Phil Briscoe has launched, and it's feeder only, and I'm really over the moon for him. I will be honest with you, for several reasons, which I might as well explain. Okay, for those of you that don't know the area, Martin actually drew peg 28 on Match Lake. If scale's out on this, I do apologise. Match Lake is, what sort of shape is it? It's that sort of shape. Not a very exciting shape, but there you go. The cafe is there. That's where the draw is and everything. The car park is here. And then we've got an island about, scale's not going to be quite right, but an island. Peg 1 is about there. I think the first peg in the match was about here. I think it was peg 10. I was peg 14, about there, where the rope goes across. Martin drew peg 28. Yes, a lot of people fancied it. All this area here was left out. I think the next peg in the match was over here on the other bank. I'm really pleased. I'm so pleased that Martin came along and got a ticket for the event. That's one thing. You know, he's been wanting to up his game and fish against some of these top lads in the Midlands, which is brilliant. The drill peg 28. The thing is with this peg is, yes, a lot of people fancied it, so it's a good peg, there's fish there, but it's one of the kind of peg where you can have too many options. You know, I've seen people draw these kind of pegs before, and I've done it in the past, where you've had simply too many options and it can just confuse your game. He's got his head down, he's stayed quite focused, and he's won the match. It was absolutely fantastic. So he won his zone, won the match. He was casting to the back of the island. There's a little stick there, about, I don't know, about that high off the water, and he's cast to the back of that. Down here is all lilies and all sorts down here. You've got all this empty water, you've got some deeper water here. There are a lot of options there, but Martin, if you're watching, absolute superb job. I think he weighed 108 pounds. The other thing was, he was only 7 ounce out on his clicker. How good is that? So yeah, why am I sharing this with you? I'm sharing it with you because A, I'm super proud of him for going in the event. B, he's won the zone, qualified it at his first go, which is fantastic, especially doing it at Larford. The reason is because now Martin has all those to sell. He's not on Facebook, he's not on Twitter, he doesn't bother with the internet, so the least I could do was advertise all these tickets for him. I can't get involved in the sale of them, but what I can do is tell you guys which ones are available, which ones he's selling, how much for, and how to get in touch with him. So right at the end of this video there's going to be a list of all the venues with the dates and the means by which you can get in touch with him if you're interested in buying them. I don't know how many's there, 10, 11 maybe, I don't know. Okay, so I'll put them up at the end of the video. Right then, I've got a few questions to answer. I've had 4 come in today as well, so I might as well do them now because you guys go out of your way to watch these videos and support the channel, so the least I can do is at least give you some feedback, even if you think it's complete and utter rubbish. So the first one was, what type of feeder do you use on deep canals? Deep canals are deep waters, they're the same sort of thing. I've touched on this before, so I'm not going to go on about it too much because I don't want to keep going over old ground. Basically, deep water means your mix needs to be right if you're going to be using a cage. Simple as that. If you intend on using a cage feeder, you've got to have some sort of a ground bait that's a binding mix. Otherwise, as you can imagine, by the time it gets to the bottom, the feeder's going to be virtually empty, or it'll have already lost a lot of its bait, and that's obviously going to spread it all over the swim. So if you're going to go down the cage route, you want to just research your ground baits a little bit and pick a ground bait that's got, you know, a bit of bind to it that's going to help it still be intact when it reaches the bottom. If you're using a dry mix, then obviously a plastic or a solid feeder will be more suitable, because obviously the plastic and the feeder is encased away from the water, which will stop it breaking down as quick, and that will just ensure that it gets to the bottom intact. Another question was, 1 or 2 people have noticed that in a lot of my videos I'm always using 6 pound mainline. They've basically said, do I ever go thicker than that or thinner than that, or lighter or stronger? Yes, I do, but very rare, very rare. The only time I go thicker than that is if I'm fishing close to snags or reeds or something like that, where I'm fishing for carp, big fish, or I'm, you know, there's some reason why I need to step it up, and that tends to be usually at short to medium range. We're doing a lot of feeder fishing short range now, down the side. You know, in some of these feeder matches we can underarm the feeders in, and so you're fishing close to features, whether it be reeds, platforms, whatever it might be. So sometimes I'll probably go up to 8 pound. It's very rare I go past that, I'll be totally honest, and it's very rare that I go less than 6 pound, and usually when I do, it's when I'm casting at range at places like Boston Lakes, where I keep referring to Boston because it's one of the main venues that I go to where you're likely to need to cast a long way if you draw the right pegs. I will go down to 4 pound, and that just aids with you know, your casting, because it's a lower diameter line. It's going to help you cast further. But in a nutshell, on just about all my reels, it's 6 pound line, because I've landed fish well into 20 pound. You know, and even when I've lost fish, it's never been the main line that's gone. There's always just enough stretching 6 pounds. So it's just a reel line that I'm nice and happy with. I can't see any point in tinkering with it, because I can't see what I'm going to gain from it. Another one about casting. Mentioned this before, so it's just a very quick one. Somebody's noticed, well, 2 people have noticed now, that when I cast, I'm right-handed and I go over my left shoulder. Basically, that is just what's comfortable for me. By doing that, it locks my cast up. I learnt this from Dean Barlow 5 years ago. It just tightens my cast up personally. If I go over my right, there's a lot more movement there and I'm not as accurate. For me, I can watch the feeder bike behind me over my left shoulder, more comfortable. That's just for me. If you're interested and you want to improve your casting at home, having watched this video or other videos or whatever, just get on the bank and try it. Just go. If you're embarrassed about showing yourself up or cracking off or whatever, just go somewhere where there isn't anybody. Just go to, it doesn't even have to be any fish in the place. Just a nice big open piece of water. Just put a bomb on. It can be an old bomb, anything. You tie a rock on it if you want, if you're scared of losing bombs, and just do it. Just have a few casts over your left, have a few casts over your right, pick a target, and you'll find that there is, you know, a technique that's comfortable for you. No one can tell you your technique. Just go out and find it yourself and stick with it. And the last one is all about my feeder journey. I don't know why. I've started getting questions about this again. I don't really know why. I don't know if something's been refreshed on the internet. I don't know, but I'm still getting questions about what, you know, how or when I decided to go down the feeder route, what made me do it, and how did I do it. A lot of this was covered in a feature which Joe Carras did at DHP for Match Fishing magazine. I've got a copy of it here. It was called Feeder Apprentice. It was a great, I mean, it was the first time I'd ever done anything like this, and I can't believe it's only 2 years ago, June 2005, so you probably can't get this anymore. I think DHP probably do back editions that go back about 12 months, I think, but this is June 15, but that was the one, Feeder Apprentice. As you can see, I'm not exactly all in matrix gear and all that sort of stuff, and it was basically about how I made the decision to go down the feeder route and chase getting better at feeder fishing and going up against some of the best lads at feeder fishing, basically. And it was all explained in there. I can't really tell you to go out and get this because it's not available anymore. But what there was from this is a video which was done by Joe Carras. I'll put the link below for you. It's still going well. It's just about bream fishing. The venue was Southfield Reservoir because that's really when I first started going there. And I'll put the link below for you. It's part of Match Fishing Films YouTube channel, which is a fantastic channel for you to check out. Link below for that video. I just kind of decided I was fishing for osset, gobbling osset at the time, and I saw an opportunity to go along to England feeder trials, and I just kind of thought it was for me. I went along, found out where I went wrong from Tommy. I had a bit of a meeting with Tom Pickering, and he you know, full credit to him, he went out of his way to tell me exactly what I needed to work on just to up my game, and that's what I went away and did. I found some venues that were suitable to that sort of fishing. And I started going to Ireland, and I just spent time fishing those sorts of venues, feeder only. That's all I did. That's all I did. It was as simple as that. And thankfully, I already loved feeder fishing anyway, which obviously helps. And you know, I don't know why I'm still getting questions about that again, but that was basically it. I just found some venues. I stuck to them. I specialised on one method, and you know, obviously, I haven't looked back. It's been one of the best things I ever did. And yeah, no regrets at all. I've had a lot of people help me along the way, and yeah, the journey's still going. Loving it, loving every minute of it. Right, another question I've been asked is that every now and then I mention articles that I've been out shooting. You know, like I've been out with Matrix shooting a video, I've been out with Match Fishing magazine, whatever, and that's kind of the last a lot of people hear about it, because you know, I know a lot of you guys are over in Europe and that sort of stuff, and you haven't got access to mainly Match Fishing magazine. That's one of them, one of the key ones that I kind of do features for. One of the articles that we did, remember when we said we went out in the middle of the storm? I can't remember what it was. Hurricane, I don't know what it was, about a month ago, 2 months ago. Anyway, we fished at Boston the day it hit, and that was that article. This is in Match Fishing magazine. That's what the cover looks like, May 2017. And basically we went to Boston, and it was just about how we approach, you know, a two-line approach, and how you just kind of prepare to fish venues like that, especially when it starts getting colder. Again, that was shot by Joe Carras, but that is in May 2007's edition, so that's one you could probably still get if you go onto the Match Fishing website. And while we're on the subject, Match Fishing magazine has come out this week. There's the lovely cover with the lovely Lee Carey on there. Why am I flagging this up to you? I'm letting you know because it's a great magazine anyway, and a lot of things I refer to are in this magazine. Okay, but the reason one of my articles is in there. It's about my go-to ground baits. Somebody asked me about that a while ago. what are your like top 3 ground baits that you always kind of end up using, or you can refer to whenever you're a little bit stuck for decision making as regards your mix for a sort of certain venue. My article's in there, and the Matrix Horizon XS slim feeder rods are being tested in this edition. Lots and lots of people are asking me about the new rods, the new kit, mainly how they you're not asking about the price and that sort of thing, you're asking about how they compare to the other rods that I've been banging on about for the last year, like the Horizons and the Legends. I still get approached on the bank about these. So that is, I'm assuming it's being done by Joe Crass. I don't actually know, because this has only kind of gone on sale today, I believe, so I haven't got a copy of the magazine, but I think they're probably maybe tested by Joe Crass, maybe. So yeah, so that should be some good feedback for you guys interested in our new rods. So there's still loads and loads of planning to be done for next year. I'm still trying to, obviously a lot of people understand that I have to book time off work well in advance, and that's why I'm just kind of going through the competitions, what my goals and targets are for next year, and that will obviously determine what kind of events I plan on going in, where my priorities lie, and what the potential is for things coming up that aren't finalised yet. Hopefully we're going to get to hear about 1 or 2 of those things quite soon. So that's it. I've really been planning all week. Next project is Holcroft pairs. I'm really looking forward to that. Fishing that with my good mate Richard Vaughan. It's going to be at Holcroft. I think it's over 6 rounds. Interestingly, the league is going to be run before Christmas and after Christmas, but the interesting thing for me and a lot of people is that it's going to be done on cumulative weight. So it's not on section points, it's not anything like that. It's going to be a cumulative weight. So that should really be interesting, especially as the weather starts getting colder and colder. So yeah, a lot of prep is going into that now. So that's it really. I'm going to put up a full list now for you, full list of the tickets that are going to go on sale now from Martin. Apologies, I cannot get involved. Please understand, I cannot get involved. I can't pull any strings, do anybody any favours, because I haven't got time to do it all. As you can imagine, with that number of tickets, there are going to be that many requests. I can't really get involved in it. So I'm going to put the list up now for you. I think there's going to be an email address on there for you. Just email that, ping an email to Martin, tell him which one you want. It's going to be first come, first served. He wants face value for the tickets, which is exactly what he paid for them. So yeah, I'm going to get them on now, so that you guys that are interested in buying them, you've got plenty of time to prepare for the match, hopefully, if you get the tickets that you want. So that's it. Just want to say have a fantastic week, everybody. It's the weekend coming up again, coming around really, really fast now. Right, so that's it. So I'm off now to go and do some prep. I might even go barbel fishing with super matchups. Hope you get the tickets that you want. Like I say, first come, first served. Hopefully, I'll be seeing some of you in the Golden Rod final. Have a good weekend.